I've already sanded. That didn't come out the way I needed to push that down, so I banged. I nail set with the back end of my nail set deep, and then I sanded a rough area. That'll be first coat for this one thing. I may find other screw holes that just aren't looking right. For right now, I need to mix this mud. And once I'm done, well, yeah, I gotta sand off my trowels. I got a lot of trowels I used last time, so. All right, let's do it. Remember to like and subscribe, please. That's good. Now I'll try to get this out without making a mess. Now I just leave the mud right on there. It's not going to hurt to have water in there, because anytime I bring it out, I mix well. Now, I'm looking to sand all my trowels off. My knives, I gotta find them first. Okay, I believe this is all of them. Quite a bit. I'm gonna swap this over so that I can see what I'm doing here. Remember to like and subscribe if you don't mind. It really helps my channel. And if you guys want to let me know in the chat if you'd like to do a walkthrough of this place, we can do that as well. My tripod is breaking. Not good. I need a new tripod. Very badly. It's not actually the tripod, it's my phone holder. Like $11 on Amazon. I don't know why. I just gotta get that loose. The troll are coming, ETA 5 minutes. Trolls on their way. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. And here we are. I just used my Festool. I actually have the mini. Hi, did you see my text? Yes, I did, hon. Thank you for giving it a try. Hopefully you come over and hang out for a little bit. Guys, remember to like and subscribe. I'm just sanding off all this mud. I don't really like to put water on it because this actually isn't as perfect stainless as it should be. Like these are real stainless. They'll never stain. Don't angle the camera toward me when I do come over. Don't worry, I won't. I'm just sanding off all that gunk. Well, thank you for sending $200 to someone. I don't know. I don't have a $200, like I don't have a bank account on here. I wouldn't be sending anything to anything because I don't have any way of getting YouTube money at all. I only have like 200 subscribers. I just started this channel really just to help people learn how to do the things I do, you know? Look at this one. This one's pretty bad. Not clean. Guys, remember to subscribe. I'm gonna get mudding soon. I got a lot of mud to do. But if you subscribe, you can go around this house with me and I'll show you what I've built here. I mean, I just built all those drawers, the cabinet, everything. I mean, that big box trim up there is boxing in HVAC piping like that. But I built all the doors, the walls, put the floors in, did a lot of work. But please remember to subscribe if you don't mind. It really would help my channel grow. Almost done. Wait till you see the bathroom. Watch this. Whoops, sorry. I'll flip the camera. Oh yeah, that's the ugliest thing. I gotta paint that, but. So I'm going to put a Dreamline cover in there, I believe. It's a door. Basically, it's just a glass door with stainless channel or aluminum channel. There's a mirror going in here. The toilet will be here. But look at all this beautiful trim that I've done. So that's beveled. See how I beveled the edges? That's all AZEK. Super pretty. And this line here is the same exact height as this. I used the laser level for that. But yeah, and up in here I did quite a bit. All these are all 45 and mitered in. Got some round over corner shelves with some 1/2 inch quarter round. Wicked pretty, right? Lovely. And I put this nice wood embossment up there. It's kind of neat. I didn't make that. That was just at Home Depot. But I was going to paint it like silver or gold. but I put it up too fast. And now I'm probably just gonna paint it white. If I do paint it, I'll have to do it with a small, tiny art brush. Yeah, so I put the windows in. That nice little sconce light, that's gonna be painted white. Any wood on the ceilings will be painted white. So that's actually acting as a register, but it's also holding up this whole HVAC duct. And these little plint blocks will have a curtain rod in them, an extendable curtain rod. Remember to subscribe and like if you don't mind. I threw this recessed lighting in there, it's pretty nice. Built the shelving and the curtain rods. That is a little box to get into the dryer vent. This is just my woodworking table. And I've got all my wood in here. I'm trying to cover it so it doesn't get all nasty. But a lot of that's gonna have to go back. So, and it tipped. And all of that over there, that's my drip edge. And what I use that for is when I spray like around the floors, I'll lay drop cloths. First I'll clean it and put tape right on the edges, nice 3-inch tape or 2-inch wide. Then I'll put a drop cloth up to it, and then I'll put that drip edge right up close and I'll spray it. And you don't get any paint on the floor, but you just gotta keep moving your drip edge and taking your brush, cleaning it off, take a wet rag and wipe it on the lip. And you just keep moving your paint toward where you're going, and eventually you're done. Takes a little while, but I like this here. So like when you walk in, these shelves just came to me one day. I built the triangle and the first one up top, and I was like, well, that's way too small, but I could use it as a top shelf. So then I was like, all right, I'll use that as a top shelf. I'll build a bigger triangle and we'll put some wings on it. Doesn't that look way like lifting? I know there's all the tools in the way, but instead of gray floors, I used the wooden appeal. So it gives it more of a, and I laid them vertical, what would you call that? Parallel with the flow of the house. So, and then I put the shelf over here to kind of tie in those. So when you walk in the house, this is what you see. I really don't like this HVAC thing, but when it was ugly in the bathroom because that's a brand new one in there that needs to be painted. I put that in after I painted everything and sealed the drywall off. That was the only reason I painted, was to seal all my mud. And it's just Smart Primer. It's a Zinsser product, Smart Primer. These are the only 2 pieces of trim that I kept in the house. They were already here, so I kept the trim around the window. No, I'm sorry. No, I put that there. That trim used to be the molding around the house. That window didn't have any trim on it. That's right. I totally forgot about that. And this door was just blowing way out. So I did some magic and filled it in and pushed it in where it needed to be, and got it somewhat square and flush. But these drawers took me a month. Literally took me a month to build these, because I had to design them. I had to figure out what materials I needed to use or wanted to use, really, aesthetically, and then also structurally. These are 18-inch drawers, and those are 20-inch drawers. They're both 16 7/8 wide. Thank you. All I used was seriously that table saw and that chop saw. And I designed all this, right? I designed it all sitting right here with my pen and paper, and I can show you. I built it, and then I go to glue it, and I looked up, all right, what is the quickest or, what's the most structural and best way to glue these together? Should I prep them, glue them all, and then put them together, or should I glue them one at a time? I looked it up, and it said, these are shaker doors, and it's exactly how I designed mine. So it was the coolest thing that, I took a whole day to design this stuff. And then I go to glue it together and find out the shakers have already done this. and they're highly renowned as really good carpenters. So that's just a tongue and groove. Plus I had to rabbet. Plus I inlaid this side. This is another rabbet in here. That's 1/2 inch plywood. This is 3/4 board. All pine select trim, and then white birch plywood. But yeah, wicked pretty, right? Oh, I got a mess in there I got to clean up. So like all this stuff I'm going to be painting and trimming out on the inside just to make it look a little bit better. There's my trash. So yes, I'm going to be plumbing all these out. It's a wall mount plumber. Wall mount, anyway. What color are you varnishing paint? Right, so that's a really good question. Like, what do you suggest? Tell me in the chat. Looks like maple on the cabinets. Yeah, so that's supposedly it's a white birch veneer over basically probably pine plywood. I mean, I can show you the actual stock. I got some left over. This is 7-ply. I use this for the drawers, but it's got the same white birch finish. Guys, remember to subscribe because I'm going to be plumbing soon. I'll be putting, I have to paint I have to literally paint the whole place again. Then I'm going to be putting a herringbone backsplash with a black granite border shelf, bullnose shelf. That is going to be so beautiful and crisp. That will match with this. This is black granite as well. I have to fill these 2 holes with some black granite epoxy repair. That was free. That's probably $1,000 slab, and I got it for free. So, and it was so weird. This cabinet skeleton was here. They used to use it for selling cigarettes and stuff at the store. So aesthetically pleasing. Yeah, it does. I tried. So this is what I do for a long time, right? As you can see, Robbins Construction, Performance Ethics Honesty. I started out literally with a handbag, a DeWalt, Sander DeWalt bag of just beat up tools. Some of them were from a garage fire at my grandfather's, like old pliers, or really a lot of them were like chisels and awls and stuff. And I just kept going, you know, one job at a time, get the tools that I needed, and slowly I've built up. And I've got that trailer stuffed full. I used to have a garage with like $350,000 worth of equipment over 10 years that I had accrued. It depends on a couple things, like wood color already used in the rest of the place, and personal taste and wall color. Yeah, so I'm going clean, neat, and fresh. I would honestly say paint the walls first, then leave the cabinets. Exactly, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I plan to mask them off with my plastic masker. You guys ever seen this? Well, I've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations. I could be way further than I am. However, I have self-inflicted in the past, but, you know, I have a family, so I've done the best I could with the cards I was dealt, I guess, right? And also, I allowed a couple bad people in my life that really actually stole from me, basically. They just stole from me. So, not cool. Oh, the masker? Yeah, so my uncle's done this for like 30 years. And he showed me this one day, and this is just the coolest thing, right? You pull it, and you got the roll there and the tape there, and it connects, and then you just literally rip it off. Watch this. The cool part about this. Sorry about that, guys. So you can get it in like 48, 62, 72, all that different stuff, right? And it tapes. And then you take another roll of tape and tape off the edges. So that's a really quick way to mask stuff that you don't want touched. Sorry about the channel. It does save a lot of time. Oh man, I lost everybody by doing that. And also, of course, I have my sprayers. You gotta have your sprayers. These are just old Gracos. So right here, I got my sprayers, both Graco 390 PCs. I've used the heck out of them, if you can't tell, you know. I kept them clean for a long time, and then a few jobs went by and people would blow up. It went crazy. So inevitably it dried, and that's how that went. But as I was showing you guys, remember to like and subscribe. Please remember to like and subscribe. Oh, we're also putting quarter round around underneath this border here today. You see that little lip? Sorry, I'll zoom out. So I had to lift this. I shouldn't have had to. This was supposed to be lower than it was, but whatever. This came like 1.5 inches thick, and it was supposed to be 1.25 inches. So I lifted it up. With the Luan. I didn't use white birch 1/4 inch. I used my Luan 1/4 inch, and now I'll use some. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take some 3/4 quarter round that I have. You can see it way down there. And I'm going to rip it a blade off each side. Now, of course, I could just ask for 1/2 inch, but I'm like 3 days out from getting something delivered, and I'm too far away from a hardware store to even care. It's way quicker to just use what I have on stock. I did ask for 1/2 inch, and I think I may have used it, or I just didn't get it delivered, but it's all good. It's all good. So like all of this, I had to quarter round because there was just huge gaps, and it looked gross from where they drywalled up to the HVAC. And as you can see, I literally had to dado into each one, every single piece that it hit. See how I had to cut that so that it would sit in there flush? Exactly. Yeah, it is time consuming. And it's to the point where, like, at this point, I just want to show people how to do it. It's my own home. This is my own house. So I don't have another client. The only clients really that, are going to be the people that moved in. So anyway, I was trying to show you this earlier. So like, this is what I had started with for my doors. This is what I was figuring, like tongue and groove and rabbet. Let's tongue and groove them to get them tight, and then rabbet the outer edges so that they can sit flush around here. So I got my measurements, figured out all my measurements right there. That was a big part, deducting and adding where I needed to. And then these are some directions for myself. And then I would literally write exactly what I needed to cut. That way I would never, ever fail. I could go back to my Bible or my story and literally verbatim know exactly what I had just sat down and figured out. And then I get to my drawer faces, and I figured out exactly what those needed to be. And then I started figuring out, okay, well, what do they need to be, shape-wise? Okay, so that's my rabbets. And then what was I thinking here? I was figuring out where my tongue and grooves were, and I weren't there yet. So then the door panels. So these are the 1/2 inch plywood. And then I figured out exactly what they needed to be. And then my drawer boxes, I had to figure out my ODs, my outside diameters. And then, that was left side and right side. And I needed to see it, so I needed to visualize it before I build. And then I said, all right, well, let's get all my exact measurements. Left side, right side, right? And every day I would just sit down before I had to do, big cuts like that. I would figure out exactly how I was going to put them together. And I didn't glue anything together until I built everything. So I had everything stacked, in piles. And you can look back on my channel and just see all that. It's really neat. If you guys want to subscribe, it'd be awesome to have you. And it has been one of the time in my life, really. This is what I've wanted to do my whole life, like my whole life. I've just wanted to be able to buy a house, and fix it up nice. So it's been a huge blessing. Prefer to do all the handiwork yourself. Yeah, I do. If I am able to do it, or if I have the tool, or if I can get the tool, I'm the type of guy that, I'm a man with a brain and hands, right? And with the willpower, you can do anything. There's men that make rockets that go to the moon. Men that do brain surgeries and heart surgeries and all of the other technical stuff that you could think of that's like, maybe stereotypically or not, very, very, you know, what would you call that? Drawing a blank. I had a stroke a couple of years ago. That's basically hard to do. Yeah, so this is my company, Robbins Construction. We paint and do carpentry, so we don't have to wait on the painter. We don't have to wait on the plumber, the mudder. We don't have to wait on anybody. You hire me and I do it all. And I'm really good at what I do. I'm not cheap, but, you know, at the end of the day, you're going to get something very beautiful, right? That's a $2,600 countertop with a sink. That was free, but it's a $1,000 countertop. When I fixed those 2 holes, that was from a bowl sink. It was free, so I used it. And then these shelves, I just come up with this on my own. I just thought of it, right? And put another shelf in there to tie that in. And all this was built. I had to jack all this up. I jacked this up 1 3/4 inches, I believe, was the highest I went in one of the areas. It was a 2 3/4 or 2 3/8 height difference from the outer edges to the middle here, and it's sagging. So before I built any wall at all, there wasn't a wall in here. There was just posts underneath that carrying beam. And what I did was I just literally took bottle jacks and jacked everything up. Got it all to the point, at the highest point I could, without ruining the hallway upstairs. And actually there was quite a lift in the hallway upstairs, because I wanted to max it out, right? You got to get it high so you can cut the board in and then everything sags down on it. And so that's what I did. So I put a storyboard down and a top plate, and I literally had all of my measurements already on the board, and each one I would go little by little, and I just, you know. So that was my first wall, to make sure that structurally sound we were good. Ever thought about getting a Red Bull sponsorship? Ben seems to have a lot of cans there. Could be some interesting marketing involved for both of y'all's company, depending on what market says. You know, I've always thought someday maybe someone will reach out to me, but I have 200 subscribers. You know, if you guys can help me find more subscribers, maybe, because even when I'm not on my own, in my own house like this, I'm still going to either I'm gonna either wear my GoPro, I got a Hero 12, or I'll just set this up way in the back and get a big, thanks, custom tailored. What do you guys do for work? Everybody tell me where you're from. Zelbel, me too. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so like, right now I'm just trying to, I'm getting ready, getting my knives cleaned up, and then I'll throw another coat on. Then we're gonna go into the trailer. No, actually, I'll probably do this trim around underneath this overhang. But at the end of the day, I'm at least going to prep for plumbing for tomorrow. I'm hoping to get the plumbing all done today. It's just two trunks, basically. Well, this one will need a trunk. This one will just go basically straight to the sink. From Seattle and retired. Cool. How does it feel to be retired? Was it scary to let that job go? Or maybe you got like made out pretty good in the stock market or something? Visual arts, design and creative arts. I can see how you radiated towards this project that I've created, because I'm very artistic as well. And I feel like this is an expression of myself, but kind of, because at the same time, I'm really out in the boonies, kind of. Basically, like, I'm an hour away from any Home Depot, right? So I have to use local stuff, and some of this stuff is from Home Depot. But, you know, I just went to Home Depot and figured out what the heck I could do and bought that. And then I'd come here and get all the stock that I couldn't get at the Home Depot or whatever, right? You was happy? Good. I will be very happy to leave the job market as well. I need about 4 more of these before, because this is the 4th unit in this building. So, you know, it'll pull some profit, hopefully. And the next multi, you know, so if I can get even one multi-unit to pull even $1,000 a month, if I can get, let's say 4 or 5 separate buildings to pull some money, well then, well, one, I've earned it because I've put another bedroom in the other house. I've painted and put other bedrooms. I've done so many different things to all the other apartments. And look at this. This was an empty room when I bought it. 25 by 35 or 40. And now look at it, you know. It's beautiful, right? I left these long lights. I mean, I don't mind them. I'm going to probably you can get quite a creative and some very interesting results when working with what you have, but it also teaches you how bundles your creativity and talent. Yes, and like how to be economically true as well, like trying to also save some time and money and all that. But yeah, that's my electrical highway right there. It runs all the way down the length of the building into my maintenance room. So this right here, there'll be a wall that comes out right here. It'll come out to about there. Then it'll zigzag over, diagonal, parallel to this wall. I built this diagonal wall as well in hopes to give the 3rd bedroom that closet, plus diagonal it off and create a hallway here. And then it'll come back in around this water pressure tank, the water bladder. So it'll, you know, and then this will have a door right here. So I can come in and I can lock up all the different paints and hardware and tools that the house needs for maintenance. But it goes into this room, and this was the dirtiest, nastiest room in the house when I bought it. And as you see, I went around and just cleaned it up. I know it doesn't look perfect, but this used to be like brown and gross. Very disgusting room, cobwebs everywhere, coffee stained on the wall. That rail was literally black. I didn't even believe that it was wood when I cleaned it. And you know what I did, Zell? I took 2x4s. That's all I had at the time. I took 2x4s. I ripped them in half and I created them after sanding them. And these are literally just kiln dried 2x4s. And I got 2 pieces of trim out of each board, and I trimmed each window and door out, you know? And I trimmed all this out. I made this look nice. And I painted everything. This is all, and you can see where I sprayed and my mask fell apart there. But I had all of this masked off with paint. You can see it on my videos. If you go back and check out my channel, I've got, like, this wall is the one I didn't. And look at that. So I need to paint that like ASAP. But this was clean compared to the other walls, you know? And it's funny because that's exactly what they did here, right? They trimmed it out. This is all older. But this, oh my gosh. Thank you, Zell. This used to literally come here. And it was a bottom plate for this wall. So what I did was I sistered it, created a jack stud, put a header in on an angle, and then trimmed around it. And I had to cut, just remember, that header had to be really thick and it had to be up above so that this could come flush when I trimmed it, right? Flush to this plywood. So I was in there with a multi-tool, just hacking away like this high, trying to get that multi-tool in there, but I got it. And you know what? Look. So now when I walk through, I still hit my head a little bit, but it's not a warhead to the forehead like this would be. Like that literally was just a wall that come down. And, you know, when you're building it, I understand, hey, let's build it like this so that we can get this wall up. We're not going to mess around with that. It's going to weaken it. But once you get everything up and all the plywood on, the plywood secures, the undersheathing secures. There's a lot of structure that secures by just the sheathing alone. Just sheathing will literally stop your house from falling over. So I knew that I was good to cut this out and put a new header in. I do that a lot, actually. A lot of different types. Oh, and I sanded these stairs nice, and they were really nice and clean. There was, after I was done with them, but, you know, just traffic, it's fine. There used to be a lot of paint, like you can see right there and right there. That was actually from me, I think, probably drips or something going on there that I just didn't see. But I spent probably 2 weeks in this room, painting it, sealing it with caulking. There was gaps and cracks everywhere, you know, and all that does is allow bugs and stuff to get in your house. Plus, your R value leaks. I even painted down behind there. This is all just stuff that literally needs to go into storage until I can use it. Like these two sinks are going to be an outdoor sink, like behind the house. One of them will be in my shop, and one of them will be like a backyard sink for gardening. This is a nice little vanity that can go into a nice small bathroom, you know. And, you know, there's just like, that's a nice, beautiful, I forgot. Oh, it's right at the tip of my tongue. Is it a swan sink? But, oh, pedestal. Yeah, so it's got that pedestal, and then that is actually flips, but it's a really beautiful sink, big belly on it, you know. Basically, my garage burnt down 2 years ago, two winters ago, and this whole room was full of stuff, like from my company and from my house when we moved up here. So the whole garage was full too. But I built this pallet shed. I built this pallet shed literally. It's literally a pallet shed. It's so cool. Check that out. It's actually one of my heaviest views, was putting this jam in. It's just two pallets, and I got really lucky because all of the floor pallets and all of the door pallets are all the same exact size, and they're the same, you know, so it works out for being square is what I mean. And I wasn't shy. I put a nice healthy overhang on everything. This is right stuffed full too. I got to get in there. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be going into the build that's just right there that I got to put away. But my garage burnt down. Look at it. I had a huge garage, huge back sitting right there in front of that well. And they were chalked right full of equipment,